Hey, what's up, gang? Dave here, and went to Wondercon. I think it was last week. Maybe it was a week before. Anyway, time passes so fast. Wanted to share my score with you. All the loot that I picked up at Wondercon Anaheim. So, a lot of good stuff. If you guys know me, you know I like a lot of Golden and Silver Age comic books. First of all, I picked up Green Lantern number 76, which I believe was the first Neil Adams and the first Green Lantern Green Arrow issue. So was really happy to pick this up. Big time score. It was kind of on my list for quite a while. And luckily Neil Adams was there and got it signed by Neil Adams. So super cool. And I'll just flip through it a little bit for you guys. And if you know Neil Adams' work, I mean, it's just, he's just one of the best. So, his artwork's just going to be a feast for your eyes. He's kind of up there with guys like Jack Kirby and Jim Steranko. So that's basically what that looks like. So that's a key issue. If you guys know what key issues are, a lot of times they'll be like first appearances, stuff like that. But this one happens to be first Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and first Neil Adams. So awesome to get his signature on that. Pretty stoked. Second, I picked up this The Double Life of Private Strong, and if you guys know about this, which I'm sure some of you guys do, this was a Jack Kirby comic book here. So Jack did the artwork on this Double Life of Private Strong, and I've always liked this cover for some reason, and I'm kind of a sucker for like the patriotic, costumes and motifs on costumes. So anyway, we'll flip through it just a little bit for you guys here. And you can see some of Jack's work. This one, by the way, was... Let's see if I could see this. I guess I should have put my glasses on. $19.59. So this is a 10-cent cover price comic book here. And back to Kirby's artwork. If you guys know me, I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, so, I will defend Jack Kirby to the grave. And, I credit him a lot for his work in the Marvel Universe and the creation of that universe. So, The Double Life of Private Strong. And I actually bought this from Allen's Comics. If you guys know Allen's Comics, they're over at Frank & Sons, and they're just really great people, super nice. So I always try to visit them whenever I go to a comic convention, or if I go to Frank & Sons, which isn't very often. But also scored this awesome Daredevil number 2. Here comes Daredevil, the man without fear. And I'm also a big Electro fan, so being that Electro was on the cover, I had to have it. And I love the Daredevil in the yellow and red costume. So, see what this guy looks like here. Of course, the number 1 Daredevil would probably be a lot more expensive. And luckily I didn't see one. I'm sure there was one there, I just didn't see it, or else... Trust me, I would have been very tempted. But if you guys like Silver Age and Golden Age comic books, like, the artwork is just amazing. And this is all the foundation for all the characters that you see now coming out in movies and Netflix, TV series and whatnot. You really have to know where your characters came from and how they started. So then finally, because I'm a big Invaders fan, I finally picked up the king size annual #1 with the Alex Schomburg cover. And if you guys know Alex Schomburg, he did a lot of the Golden Age World War II style covers, and his artwork is just amazing. This is probably one of his least amazing covers, as amazing as it is. But just to give you guys an example of his artwork during the World War II era, I'll show you. Now, I didn't get this this time at the convention, but here's a Kid Comics, and this is a Golden Age comic book, and you can just see all the crazy detail that he puts into the cover. So, as far as I know, he didn't do any interiors, but his covers are super amazing, and you know, there's a lot of awesome cover artists out there that you guys love. So, anyway, finally picked up Invader's king size annual #1, and this is what it looks like on the inside. And Frank Robbins is the illustrator on this book. So he has a little bit of a quirky style and look to his artwork, but you know, being that I'm a big World War II buff, without really knowing all the details of World War II, but I just, you know, I love the wartime action in comic books and stuff like that, so I really love the Invaders. Just a great combination of characters, especially with Namor, and I'm a big Prince Namor fan. Submariner. Endgame Part 2, it looks like they're going up against some of the Avengers. So you got Yellow Jacket, the Vision, and the Black Panther here. I haven't read this, like I said, I just bought it, so you know, can't really tell you what the storyline is about on this particular comic, but eventually I'll get to it and I'll read it. I'm sure some of you guys have already read it, and you can tell me what it's about before I read it. Spoiler alert, right? And then I picked up several X-Men issues, and although this is not a John Byrne issue here, I was really concentrating on a lot of the John Byrne X-Men issues. But like I said, this particular one is not a John Byrne. This is Dave Cockrum. So, which his artwork is excellent as well. Look at this. This is beautiful. There's just something about, like, you know, silver, golden age comics, and the way that the paper soaked up the ink and the colors, and it's just awesome. You know, when I see reprints, whether they're in, like, you know, collected editions or what have you, like the color is never as amazing as it is in its original form. It always looks just like oversaturated to me. So anyway, that's X-Men 105. All new, all different X-Men. And here's another one here, 111. X-Men Now Playing 1 Week Engagement. So these are John Byrne pencils here, and I'm a big fan of John Byrne's work, especially on the X-Men. I don't know, for some reason I didn't love John Byrne's work on the Fantastic Four, but I feel like I need to explore it more and kind of give it a chance, because I'm such a big fan of his that I just myself, like, I can't even believe me that, you know, I'm not into it. So I'm like, how can you not be into it? And like, well, I'm not really that into it, you know? And I'm like, how can that be? So I definitely have to explore John Byrne Fantastic Four at some point. And here's another one here. So this is a first appearance of Carol Danvers as Binary. And this is an awesome cover. Recently, J. Scott Campbell did a Captain Marvel cover that had like an homage to this cover. I didn't end up buying that one, but now I kind of regret it because this is kind of an amazing cover. But I wasn't like a big fan of the design of the character, so I kind of skipped on it. But now that I have the original in my hand, I'm kind of blown away by it and like, whoa. So sorry, I didn't tell you, this is Dave Cockrum pencils here. Of course, stories by Chris Claremont, which was one of the greatest writers on X-Men ever. So he also worked with Jim Lee when Jim Lee was on the X-Men. Starcade! Saturday morning cartoons. Wolverine. I've always loved this particular costume for Cyclops. I always thought it was super cool. But anyway, there you go. Uncanny X-Men 164. Got a little mess going here now. And then Uncanny X-Men 135. Defeated by Dark Phoenix. And I'm still missing some issues in this like little story run here, which I'll have to fill in later. But I picked up what I saw, and I've been really wanting to fill in gaps in my X-Men issues for a while. So I do have others, and I do have some pretty significant issues, but these are the ones that I bought at WonderCon Anaheim. So John Byrne pencils again. And I have to read like the credits in the front of the book because I'm not always sure, like this illustration here and all of these panels here, it could have easily have been Dave Cockrum, so that's why. But then when I get back here, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see John Byrne faces on these characters and body types and whatnot. ROM. Some awesome Marvel ads, classic Marvel ads. It's like, learn how to throw a football, get big muscles, all this crazy stuff. And then the awesome fruit pie and Twinkie ads that Marvel did. These were just as fun as the comic books themselves. Special double-sized issue X-Men 137, Phoenix Must Die. So here we go. What's going on with this issue here? The Watcher at the beginning greeting us here. An amazing splash page. Of course, John Byrne artwork. Amazing looking splash page. And Twinkie ad right here with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel? I thought Captain Marvel was female. Oh, what? Oh, original Captain Marvel was a male character. Okay, right on. Anyway, of course I knew that. Anyway, John Byrne artwork here. Just gorgeous. The scrolls. I actually had a friend when I was a kid who had all of these toys. Sometimes go down his house and we'd be playing with like all these ships and all the plastic soldiers and stuff. It was really cool actually. I don't know if they ordered them from the comic books or if they found them in a store somewhere back then, but anyway, they were super cool. I never had them. There were a lot of vehicles which I thought was really cool. the Angel in his red and white costume, which I really liked. I remember that. Wow, gorgeous artwork. Storm looks amazing too. It's just, you know, an amazing design for Storm. Wow, these were the days, the glory days of the X-Men. I saw an interview with John Byrne at his home on YouTube, and I just thought he just seemed like the nicest guy. And he had so many collectibles and artwork, and even like Kirby original pages, and I was so jealous of him, but had a ton of action figures too. The Watcher, these ads too. Fun and Games had these when I was a kid. You know, they had like mazes and word puzzles and stuff like that, and be in the back of my dad's car, and we'd be going somewhere up north, and I'd be doing mazes or coloring or whatever, keeping myself busy and out of trouble. It was easy to get in trouble with my dad. So, all right, there's that. And then I also went to the J. Scott Campbell booth, and I picked up these alternate covers. I'm not going to actually take this out of there, but they're signed, as you can see, by J. Scott Campbell. And if you know me, I'm a big Psylocke fan, so I had to have the Uncanny X-Men Psylocke cover by J. Scott Campbell, and it's just gorgeous, just totally awesome. And then I showed you guys these before when I was comparing the Captain Marvel covers to the Miss Marvel original covers, but now they're signed. So J. Scott Campbell's signature here and here in the corner, and these are just really gorgeous. I mean, J. Scott Campbell does some amazing homage covers, and every now and then I just have to scoop them up because they're beautiful. So anyway, that was my haul at WonderCon 2019 Anaheim. If you guys didn't get to go, there was so much merchandise there and comic books. It was ridiculous. I go for comic books. Like I said, I'm big Silver and Golden Age fan, so that's primarily what I go for. I go all the way, you know, to the west end of the convention center, and that's where all the comic books are. So that's where I go. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.